this last section in this finance unit, we're going to talk about one of the most important purchases a person can ever make in their life, and probably also one of the most expensive ones, buying a home. Now, a homeowner's mortgage is a long-term loan in which the property is pledged as security for the payment of the difference between the down payment and the sale price. Okay, so the mortgage, which is basically your home loan, is the difference between the sale price for the home and then the down payment. So the down payment is the amount of cash the buyer must pay to the seller before the lending institution will grant the buyer a mortgage. Now, normally, if the buyer does not put 20% down, the lending institution will require the buyer to take out private mortgage insurance, or PMI, which protects the lender in case the buyer defaults on the loan. Now, we're really not going to talk about the different types of loans, but this is true in what would be considered to be a conventional loan. If you were to take out a different type of loan, maybe for instance like a VA loan, the buyer does not necessarily have to put 20% down in order to get out of the PMI insurance. So we're talking about kind of like this, like the prototype of when you buy a house. When you actually get into it, there's going to be a lot more details and a lot more specifics. Now, the equity is the difference between the appraised value of the house and the loan balance. Now, the equity typically increases with each payment made, assuming the appraised value of the house stays the same or even goes up. So the idea is this appraised value stays the same, your loan balance keeps going down as you pay off your loan. The difference in those two amounts is the equity you have in your house. Now, the buyer is going to have to pay that PMI each month until the buyer has paid 20% equity into the house. So that means there has to be a 20% difference between the appraised value of the house and the loan balance before the owner can stop paying this PMI. Now, finally, at the closing, the home is transferred from the seller to the buyer, and the buyer obtains the mortgage from their loan company. Now, at this point in time, the buyer not only has to pay the down payment plus all the fees, so there's processing fees and administration fees, appraisal fees, title insurance, etc. So at the closing, this is basically when all the money transfer happens.